Hey, I'm Kate, Plastic-Free Mermaid, and we're here at the Unwrapped conference put on by Upstream Solutions and Plastic Exposed, and I'm here with Dr. Jane Muncke.
Hello.
Hello, Managing Director at the Food Packaging Forum. Tell us about your presentation yesterday.
So I spoke about the different materials that we use to package food.
Yep.
We have food contact articles.
Okay.
It's a very big word, it's complicated, but those would be packaging materials.
Okay.
And they're made up of different materials and different chemicals. So food packaging actually isn't just one material. So you've got plastic, paper, adhesive, the glue, and the printing ink. So you'd have 4 different kinds of food contact materials. And that's all made up of chemicals. And that's what we really worry about, because those chemicals, they can transfer from the food packaging into the food.
So what should we worry about? What are some of the packaging articles that are transferring chemicals?
So for me, one of the biggest aha moments doing this work was to understand that plastic actually contains a lot of chemicals that no one knows. By logic, you can't really say they're safe or not, because in order to say something's safe, you have to know what you're dealing with. So when you make plastic, it's a complex chemical reaction. You start with your monomer.
Right.
That's a small molecule that you get from fossil carbon production. And you put it into a reaction vessel and you put reactive chemicals in there. Your goal is to make a polymer, right? That's the backbone of plastics.
Okay.
And the polymer consists of up to 10,000 repeats of your monomer. Now what happens when you polymerize is not every polymer molecule makes it to 10,000 repeats. Some start reacting and adding onto each other, but then they stop. And those are what we call the oligomers. And they're present in your plastic as well. They have no function in there, but they're present. And because they're small molecules, they can get out of the plastic and they can get into your food.
Is this the non-intentionally added?
Exactly, that's part of the non-intentionally added.
Okay.
So the other non-intentionally added substances are impurities.
Okay.
So when you buy your monomer, you don't get like pure grade monomer, you get other stuff in there as well.
This sort of information makes people uncomfortable. So what are you excited about in the space of safer alternatives?
I like inert materials. So inert means materials that don't chemically interact with the food. And so that would be glass.
Yep.
And ceramics, be stainless steel, because it's not a coated metal.
So it's interesting that you're not excited about any kind of single-use packaging. It's really just don't create single-use items. It's really don't use disposable packaging. Instead, it's reusable.
It would be a more systemic change, but I do acknowledge that in certain situations we do have to have single-use packaging, right?
Right.
So I think what we should make sure is that we have that packaging really thoroughly tested toxicologically. And here I'm talking about 2 important things. One, we should not only look at the chemicals that we use to make it, we should look at the finished packaging item and test the whole cocktail, the soup of stuff that migrates, that leaches from that packaging item. And the other point is we have to use modern science to test it.
Right.
We shouldn't use tox tests that are 50 years old to test that. We should use modern stuff that is relevant.
And then where can people find out more about your work, or is there anything that you would like to plug?
So we have a website that has plenty of resources.
Great.
It's called foodpackagingforum.org. We do an annual workshop. You can join by coming to Zurich or by watching from your home via webcast.
Great.
It's on the 24th of October.
Thank you. Thanks, you guys. Definitely tune in, subscribe for more interviews from the Unwrapped conference. Check it out, unwrappedconference.org.